The Grit Secret. Why some people never give up. The rain was falling hard that morning. It wasn't dramatic or thunderous, just steady, cold, and relentless. The kind of rain that seeps into your bones and makes everything feel heavier. Adam sat in his car, watching drops slide down the windshield, his fingers gripping the steering wheel. Another rejection email had just hit his phone. "We appreciate your effort, but we've decided to move forward with another candidate." That was the 5th one this month. He leaned back, eyes closed. He wanted to scream, but the sound never came out. He was just tired. Tired of trying. Tired of being almost there. Tired of pretending that his dream of becoming a filmmaker was still alive. He had left his small town 2 years ago with a camera, a suitcase, and fire in his heart. He believed passion was enough, that if you worked hard, the world would notice. But life doesn't reward effort instantly. He had worked as a delivery driver by day and edited short films at night, barely sleeping, barely surviving, and still, no one called back. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm just not built for this." He turned off the car and walked toward his tiny apartment. The hall smelled of damp carpet and instant noodles. On his fridge was a note he'd written a year ago. "Dante quit now. The pain will mean something someday." He stared at it for a long time, then quietly tore it off. That night, he sat by his window with a cup of cold coffee, watching raindrops race down the glass. For the first time, he truly considered giving up. The next morning, he woke up late. His inbox was empty. His motivation was gone. He opened YouTube just to escape his thoughts. A thumbnail caught his eye, a motivational talk titled, "Why Some People Never Give Up, The Grit Secret." He clicked. A calm, older voice filled the room. "Talent gets you started. Motivation keeps you moving. But only grit, the courage to keep going when you're breaking inside, gets you there." Adam froze. Something in his chest tightened. He'd heard hundreds of motivational lines before, but this one felt personal. The voice continued, "Grit isn't loud. It's quiet. It's the whisper that says not yet when everything else screams give up." He paused the video and leaned back in his chair. For a moment, he could hear his own heartbeat. Slow, heavy, but steady. He thought about every rejection, every night he'd stayed up editing while the city slept, and for the first time in weeks, he whispered something new. Not yet. That small phrase hit differently. He didn't feel inspired. He felt stubborn. He reopened his editing software. The same unfinished short film blinked at him. He pressed play. The footage looked raw, unpolished, underexposed. He smiled. "All right," he said softly. "Let's try again." He stayed up all night, editing, cutting, rebuilding, not for views, not for approval, just to finish what he started. When the sun finally rose, he watched the light fill his tiny room. His eyes burned, his body ached, but his spirit, that fire he thought was gone, was flickering again. He uploaded the short film quietly, without telling anyone. Then he whispered one more time, "Not yet." And for the first time in a long time, he meant it. Days passed. The video Adam uploaded sat quietly online. No likes, no comments, no recognition. But strangely, he didn't care. For the first time in months, he wasn't chasing applause. He was chasing consistency. He started waking up early again, not because he felt motivated, but because something inside whispered, "Just show up." That whisper, that tiny, stubborn voice, became his best friend. Some days he'd wake up excited. Other days he'd drag himself through exhaustion. But he always showed up. One night he was editing footage when his phone buzzed, a message notification. He glanced at it lazily. Probably spam, he thought, but it wasn't. "Hey man, just watched your short film. It hit hard. Thank you for making it." He froze. It was from a stranger, someone who had found his video by accident. That single message did something that 1,000 likes couldn't do. It reminded him why he started in the first place. He replied simply, "Thank you for watching," and went back to work. Weeks turned into months. He made another short film, then another. Each one got a few more views, a few more comments, but more importantly, each one made him better. He wasn't chasing viral moments anymore. He was building grit. Then, one ordinary Tuesday morning, his phone exploded with notifications. Hundreds of them. He blinked, confused, as he opened YouTube. His latest short film, a simple emotional story about failure and persistence, was blowing up. 50,000 views. Then 200,000. Then 500,000. He stared at the screen in disbelief. The same film that almost broke him was now changing lives. The comments flooded in, "I needed this today." Cried watching this. This gave me strength to try again. Adam leaned back in his chair and laughed. Not a loud, triumphant laugh, but the soft kind that comes after years of holding your breath. He called his mentor Mr. Hayes. When Hayes picked up, Adam didn't even speak. He just said, "You were right." Hayes smiled on the other end. "About what?" Adam replied, "It wasn't luck. It wasn't talent. It was grit." That night, Adam took a walk through the city. Neon lights reflected off the wet pavement. The air smelled like rain again, just like the day he almost gave up. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you for not letting me quit." He realized something profound. People who never give up aren't fearless. They're just tired of giving up on themselves. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't need motivation every day. They just keep walking, one stubborn step at a time. That's what grit really is. Not fire, not noise. Just quiet courage, repeated every single day. Months later, Adam's films began winning small festival awards. He got invitations to collaborate, sponsorship offers, even interviews. But none of that compared to the feeling he got when a teenager messaged him, "Your story stopped me from giving up on mine." He smiled as tears filled his eyes. He typed back, "Then I've already succeeded." If you've been fighting for something and it feels like the world isn't listening, remember this. Grit is built in silence. Every rejection, every long night, every moment you choose to try again, it's shaping you. You don't need to move mountains. You just need to refuse to stop climbing. Because the people who never give up, they all share one thing in common. They have the grit to keep going, even when no one is watching. And someday, the world will finally see what persistence created in the dark. The end. A Wishper's Truth. Original story.